Hello everyone and welcome to my ranking of Book 1 of Avatar: The Last Airbender. I've just done reacting to Season 1 and I think it's finally time we had to sit, discussed it, ranked some episodes. I've got my special getup as you can see because it's a special occasion. And also I think it's best first to just say how I view a tier list, because for different people it's going to mean different things. Also, I'm going to try and do as little editing with this as possible and just sort of free throw. Already I'm messing it up. Just sort of go with the flow. So S to me is obviously, you know, best of the best. Doesn't mean it was perfect, it just means I loved it the whole way through, just incredible. A is like, damn, that was really good. You know, I got a few, like, maybe points that I didn't love it completely, but it was pretty damn great. B, see, a lot of people think if something isn't A or S, it's just bad. No, B for me is like solidly middle, and what that means to me is like, I'll watch the episode and be like, that was good, I enjoyed it, you know, I didn't love it, but I also didn't dislike it. It was a good episode. You know, there's nothing wrong with a B. C then is like, you know, that was fine. You know, I got some problems with it, but, you know, there's been better episodes. Wasn't terrible, but also wasn't that good. So, you know, C isn't end of the world. It's just like, But D is like, yeah, it didn't, there was a lot of problems with that still. Although, what I want to say, it's hard. I'm thinking of what I'm comparing this to, because Avatar at its worst is still pretty good. But that doesn't mean I want to put everything just like in the top 3 here. So, even I think, remember that, what I'm saying now is that even at its worst, it's still pretty good. Anyway, let's start it off at the beginning, the boy in the iceberg. So, I've got to view this as an introduction, and I guess as something like if I went back and watched. I think, so I went in the show not expecting it to have like the best of starts. Yet I was in pretty quick. As a first episode, I don't think it does anything groundbreaking. I wasn't like super hooked, like, oh my god, I've got to watch the next episode right now. I was like, yeah, I enjoyed that. That was pretty good. So I'm thinking either A or B for the first episode, you know, it's a great setup for what's to come. I'm gonna give it an A, because it's difficult to get a pilot well if it's 20 minutes and introduce everyone. I think I'm gonna give it an A already. Just because, yeah. Just for the fact it sets everything up really nicely at the start, I think it's worth an A. Even if there's no, like, incredible, groundbreaking moments, I just think it's a good start. Then we have Chapter 2, The Avatar Returns, that's it. This one, so this is a good introduction for Zuko, which obviously later is becoming a very great character. I think for this one, I can just think, I'm gonna put it a B, because it was very much felt like episode 1, but with less sort of questions raised. There was a good fight, or, yeah, there was a good fight. There was the moment where Aang, like, shot the fireball, I think. This has actually been quite a while now. But yeah, I think nothing about it was incredible. It was just like, you know what, that was enjoyable again, and I liked learning about Zuko. Episode 3 was called The Southern Air Temple, that's it. I've got my notes here. Is it S? Because, like, it's definitely better, the best of the episodes we've had so far. But does it get an S? So, this was definitely the first big lore episode of learning stuff, you know. Learning about the avatars was really intriguing. I'm just not sure, now I know everything about the avatar, if I watched the episode back, would I be as hooked as I was the first time? Probably. But, God, this is tricky. I'm gonna say, I'm gonna keep it here for now, and I might move it to S. I'll see, because, you know, about halfway through the season, I probably would have given it an S, but now I'm comparing it to, like, the second half of the season. Like, it seems like a bit less. Again, A is great. It was a really good episode, the ending especially, with Aang going all angry. Introduced Momo, that might put it to an S. But, yeah, I'm gonna keep it there. Then we have, Chapter 4, The Warriors of Kishi, Yoshi. Let's go with that. This episode was definitely the weakest so far out of all of them. I think, like, you know, you had, nothing was that bad about it, but nothing, you know, it came off of the greatness that was episode 3, and then it slowed down, which is fine, but it slowed a lot down, and it was just like, if this episode wasn't here, probably nothing would change. We only got hints of, like, Aang's feelings for Katara from this. We obviously, Sokka had some character development. He got beat up a bit, and you had the big fish at the end destroying the Fire Nation ship. Yeah, it's like, there's nothing wrong with it, it just was like, for me, personally, I was like, fine, you know? I wasn't hooked, I was just like, okay, we're getting to learn these characters a bit more, but the actual story itself didn't really grab me. Episode 5, The King of Umashu. This one was very fun. For some, like, I remember the first half watching it and thinking, this is fine. But then it just really picked up, and I liked, obviously the Boomy reveal was great. King Boomy is just a really fun character. Hopefully we're going to see him again. I think this one gets a B. Like, it's just, there's very little wrong with it, but there's also, you know, it doesn't break the boundaries, it's just, you know, it's fine, it's fun, it's good to see Aang learning. It's a solid episode, you know? It's like it doesn't feel like a filler, but it also doesn't give loads of information. It's just a solid, like, I could watch that whenever. Chapter 6, Imprisoned. So this was the Earth Nation with the guy who I thought might become a love interest and then just very much disappeared. So the ending of this was very good, because it was the first time we got to see, like, a kind of large-scale fight. We also, yeah, we got some nice tricks with Aang's abilities, seeing how he can mess around with them. I think this is also a B. I'm probably going to put this just there. I don't know if I want to start actually putting them in order, otherwise it might just feel like I'm doing an actual, like, normal ranking list. So I'm just going to, if it's in B, that doesn't necessarily mean, like, that's the order that I rank them in. But yeah, it's, like, I'm kind of struggling to think of everything that happened in this episode. It just didn't really stick with me. But I remember enjoying the fight a lot, so that's why it's put up to a B. Ooh, now, so, Chapter 7, The Spirit World Winter Solace Part 1. This people may not agree with this. I think it's a B, and like a low B at that. The reason I say that is, so this one half of the story was the spirit stuff. Really enjoyed that. You know, it was a good introduction to the spirit world. Iroh got captured, that was pretty good. Because I didn't know what was going to happen. I kind of thought they were just actually going to be split up now, him and Zuko. But the other half, with this monster thing, the panda, boy was that a letdown for me. It set up this big, like, monster that's destroying the village because the forest is being destroyed. And then at the very end, Aang walks up to it and goes, oh, the forest will regrow, you know? Like, acorns are a thing and they grow trees. And the monster spirit thing was like, oh, okay, peace. And I don't know, just that moment, for all the setup it had in the episode, I was like, really? That's the like, this spirit of the forest didn't realise the forest grows back? Like, I don't know. It felt very underwhelming, I think is the word for that. But it did have very good setup for part 2, which is definitely an A. Does it get an S? Ooh, there's nothing wrong with the episode, really. I'm trying to think. Like, especially the second half is great. I guess the first half is, like, it's all good. Does it beat episode 3, though? Now that I can't decide. Because episode 3 I'm already on the border of S and A. It's kind of like matched. You know, obviously we learned our big key point of the comet, which is great. We met the previous avatar. It pushed the story along a lot. I think they're pretty much equal for me, episode 3 and this one. So I'm gonna keep them there. But later on I might do some rejiggling. We'll see at the moment. Gonna keep him there. Then we have Chapter 9. The Waterbending Scroll with the pirates. This was a weird one? I don't want to say weird. The pirates, they were the weird ones. They were very strange. The fight on the water was very unique. It was definitely something new. I enjoyed that a lot. And also, this might have been the episode where I remember saying, like, I really love how everything in the first half of the episodes are always paid off in the second half. And it definitely was with this. I think, was this also the one where Katara was getting a bit annoyed how quickly Aang was learning? I'm gonna put this at a... I think at a C. I think it was fine. It's definitely one of the least memorable ones for me. I just thought it was like, it was fine. I came out of it and I was like, sure. Like, I didn't hate that, but like, again, coming off of a very good episode to that. Yeah, I think C's fair. Now we have Chapter 10, Jet. I don't know why, but for a character I didn't even like, I remember Jet a lot. I just remember going, bloody Jet. Like, for some reason he's stuck in my head. Oh, where do I put this? It was nice seeing Sokka actually be right. It's horrible seeing Aang and Katara not know that he's right, but it is nice seeing that his instincts are correct. Probably a B? Yeah, I think a B, because I liked that we got to see another side to things. We saw Earthbenders, or no, Earth people who were bad, and we saw Fire people who were good. Always appreciate that, especially in a show where you sort of come to expect, oh, all fire people are bad, and, you know, you got your big villains who are always just, rah, we are evil, and you got your good guys who everyone is good. No, I like the diversity. I like the showing different sides to the war. I don't like Jet. Bloody Jet, he's, oh, God, that kid, get him out of here. Now, this one's gonna be interesting. Was this The Great Divide? Chapter 11, The Great Divide. So this is where I will remind people, tier lists are personal things. It's what I personally enjoyed, because I really enjoyed this episode, and a lot of people said to me, boy, I hated this episode, this is one of the worst episodes, or, you know, they were saying how when they watched it on TV, Nickelodeon, whatever, how this episode always aired, and so everyone just got fed up with it. Obviously, I'm not coming from that point of view. I just really, as a filler episode, well, if you can call it a filler. I don't like saying filler, because people get a certain thing in their mind when you say filler, that it just means pointless, which isn't the case. I really enjoyed seeing Aang be more mature. You know? Like, this episode he was very much, I have to learn how to control stuff, how to lead. And I really enjoyed that. I liked, because Aang, he's always very childish, and while that's his charm, it was just very nice to see this other side of like, you know what? He can be an adult. I think B then? I'm trying to compare it to episodes along here. Funny enough, it's actually one of my favourite of the B episodes. Like, close to A, which to some people will be incredible. But yeah, I just really enjoyed it. There was the story with the two rivaling tribes, and I liked... I'm going to put it in A, and I'll tell you why. The moral of the story, so these two tribes just happen to hate each other. Because of this fake story that, well, we don't even know if it was fake or not. They both had their own different sides to this story, and so the two tribes hated each other. And no matter what, they were going to hate each other, continue hating each other. There was nothing Aang could say that would bring them together unless he lied. So he lied. And I kind of like that even though he had them all working together to fight the same thing, at the end of the day, people are just arseholes. And sometimes they refuse to work together because of some history. And so Aang was like, you know what, forget it. I gotta lie. And I kind of respect that, because I think in a lot of shows, especially what's considered a kids show, you'd have like, work together, and once you work together, everyone's friends now. No, this show was just like, people are stupid and they hold grudges. And sometimes you just gotta make something up so they no longer hold that grudge. And I respect that. Ooh, so now we have the storm, that's it. Oh, the storm. Where, oh where does the storm go? So, the thing with the storm is that it's not a particularly, like, thrilling episode. It's just a very informative, and very, like, intriguing, I guess the word is. It's very, I can sit down and watch it the whole time and be like, whoa, really? Oh, wow, oh, cool. But there wasn't, like, hype. I'm not saying that that's what I need, I'm just, like, pointing it out, like, how good it is, despite not having any big action scenes. Does it go S? Ooh, I feel like a lot of people would put it in S. It was great learning stuff. I really respect the fact that they made the how Aang got frozen wasn't some big battle or something, some grand thing. It was just like, well, he tried running from home and accidentally messed up, and got, like, fell in the ocean, had to freeze himself. And Zuko's backstory was also great. It, like... Without this episode, you don't understand the characters as much as we do now. That's why I think it probably gets an S. Again, alright. I'm gonna rejiggle it at the end. At the moment, it's like top of all of them. But it goes there. And the reason I say that is because I don't need to think about the next one. This one is an S. The Blue Spirit. For me, it's incredible I say that, because the first half of the episode, I thought was like meh. That's how good I thought the second half was. I just really enjoyed their, like, prison escape, Aang and Zuko. I thought it was so creative, you know, it could have had them going down hallways beating people up. But no, it was done so well. The choreography, you had the shot where they were on the wall, punching each, like, side to side, like it was a side scroller. That was great. The very fact that Zuko was rescuing Aang adds so much to Zuko's character, because it's like he is actively very much going against the Fire Nation here, and it's just pushing him ever so more to, like, whose side is he really on? Yeah, from the halfway point, I was gripped every second. Yeah, for me, it has to be an S. Now we have, you are called the Fortune Teller, 14. The Fortune Teller, here's the thing. Even though I really enjoyed the episode, I'm just not a fan of relationship stuff unless it's done really well. An example of being done really well is these two end episodes here. But for now, yeah. It was sort of like asking the fortune teller, who am I going to be in love with? And that just don't do it for me. The stuff with the volcano, I think, was a good setup and like an okay resolution. Like, fighting the volcano felt very easy. I don't know, I'm gonna put this in the C's. Again, remember, this isn't like in order, this is just, they're in C. Yeah. I think so. I did enjoy it. I didn't dislike it. But I was like, that was fine, that was serviceable. Now we have, what was this one called? Beta of the Water Tribe. Oh god, yeah. So, Aang in this episode, for the first half of this episode, I went from really liking Aang's character, just instantly, I was really disliking him, how he was acting. Like, I get it, but boy, was he being selfish. But it all got solved by the second half, which obviously is fine. And the second half was great. There was another really well done creative fight. You had Appa versus this Beast Boy thing, which was a really good fight. It's definitely, I think, in the B. Just the first half with Beto and all that, like, again, it was good. Didn't love it. It was nice to see everyone, like, eventually in the end bond. The fight definitely elevates it to, like, a high-end B, if I was doing it that way. But yeah, I think I'm going to place him in B. Now we have the Deserter. So, I've got to say this first. The opening of the Deserter really annoyed me. Just how quickly Aang, Katara and Sokka got caught. Just because it felt to me like we got 20 minutes to tell this story and they need to be like hiding from Fire Nation and bump into this Fire Master. What do we do? Have them get caught or like get recognized. Okay, we got to do this within a few minutes. So you know, they walk into this really fun looking parade, and within like 2 minutes, they're getting caught. And it really felt like it kind of forced, in my opinion. But the Master himself, I really enjoyed, and I really liked his way of talking about fire. How he said, you know, water, earth, air, if you create it, you can just leave it be, and it does its own thing. Or like, you know, you don't have to worry about what it's going to do. Fire, once you create it, suddenly you got to worry about, like, it can destroy everything. And so he raised a good point of like, hey, just don't even bother with fire. It can only be destructive. Which I don't agree with, but it was a very interesting take. Plus, the fight with Zhao at the end, I thought was very good. It was nice setting up Zhao's, like, weakness. I kind of wish we had more Zhao time with his master, just because I think Zhao was, like, kind of underdeveloped compared to other characters in the show. So again, I think I'm going to give it a B. And now we have, so this is an interesting one. Is this the Northern Air Temple? I think C. I think didn't need to think that much about it. I definitely didn't dislike it, and the fight at the end with the armoured tanks was, like, definitely interesting. I didn't expect that, and it was well done. But it felt, I don't know what the word is, kind of out of place in a sense. Just the scientist and Sokka, I actually liked their relationship together. I thought that was really well done. But the whole thing with the gas, the actual fight itself, the way they fought was they were dumping slime on everyone, felt like, okay, this is a kid's show. So, like, this series is very good at making you forget it's designed for Nickelodeon. But the way they were dumping green slime on everyone, it's a bit like, okay, sure. And also, I was expecting the hot air balloon at the thing to come back, which I hope it does. But I was expecting that hot air balloon to pay off in, like, the last episode. And it didn't, so I was like, okay. Yeah, I think it's a solid C. Like, I don't love it, I wouldn't seek out this episode, like, I've got to watch this episode again, but I still enjoyed. Now we have what is essentially the setup for the next 2 episodes, but the waterbending master. So, the arriving at the city was great. It was very grandiose. I really enjoyed that. I think the master himself is interesting. It's a little infuriating that people don't realise, like, you really need the Avatar trains to save the world. You're all being very stubborn here. But it's, you know, story things. The way the guy was Katara's master? No, not master. Grandfather? Not grandfather. Grandmother's once arranged marriage husband, I think. Something along that line. That was just like, wow, that's convenient. I don't know, I just found it funny when it happened, because I was like, wow, really? What? But the way, like, Aang training and Katara's fight with him was great. Is, you know, she's a very good character and very stubborn, and her stubbornness very much stood out, and it paid off. I think it deserves an A. You know, I really enjoyed it, and it introduced, Yue, who I surprisingly enjoy. Yeah, I think it was definitely very fun and a good setup. Now we have, finally, the Siege of the North, Part 1. Ooh, Part 1. At the very least an A, definitely. But comparing it to the others, because the opening battle, obviously, of the battle is great, and then you have Aang. You got the Zuko fight. Zuko sneaking in was very great, and also my favourite moment of the whole thing is Zuko and Iroh's chat about how his son passed away. It was very, very sad. Does it get an S? The thing is, I feel like it's an S, but I also feel like the Storm episode is slightly better, which means I'm doing my rejiggling now. This is a big thinker. I'm also thinking, because this last one, I think you can guess what the last episode is. Does it get an S? It's a pretty good setup, and it's also hard not to join it with part 2. And going with that, I'm going to say S, bordering on A, but S. And then S. Yeah. What a great finale. It's so grand. Although, okay, I'll say one problem with it is that 20 minutes wasn't long enough to tell the story. I think it should have been, let's say, 30. Because the ending felt very much like, okay, let's wrap this thing up. Okay, happy ending, woo, the end. Compared to the middle chunk where Aang was the big water beast. And like it took its time with that destruction, and it felt right. It felt great. Yeah, definitely an S. The fight with Zhao was so satisfying. And the way Iroh, like, not only yelled at Zhao, but like he just stood with the main crew at the end because he was like, "Hey, these kids are doing the good thing right here, so I'm just gonna stand with them," you know, which I love. Okay, rejiggling time. I feel like, I guess, to make it more clear my opinions, I'm going to add something to D. Like, I think that episode would go in a D. Probably the oh no, that feels very harsh. I'm going to be harsh with the pirate one. Not because it actually was that bad, it's so forgettable, this one, for me. I don't know why. And compared to the rest of the show. And then in the B, I think that's fair. See, these episodes are very good here. Well, especially, these three, especially very good. If I be really harsh and think about what I think are the very, very best ones, I guess I would keep it like that. But am I being too restrictive of what counts as S? Because like I was saying, no episode's perfect. I mean, for the fact I got the Blue Spirit one in there. I could easily do that as well. This is so difficult. And also, this episode is so damn good. I'm going to keep it like that. I could order them if I wanted, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep it like this. For me personally, this is how I feel. And I think this represents my feelings on the season pretty damn well. The fact I'm struggling with like C and D episodes tells you how much I've enjoyed this. Yeah, so book 1 as a whole, you know, for something that I thought I was gonna, you know, I assumed most episodes going into this thing I would be sort of count as a B, like all of them, like around like a 2 in A, let's say, most in B, and then a few down here. But it turns out, it's very top-heavy, and yeah, you know, comparing maybe to later seasons, this might all be brought down. Maybe it's like, you know what, compared to what happens later, this isn't as good. But, yeah, I think this is, I'm happy with this. Please, feel free to yell at me, or, you know, calmly say what you think, what your favourite episodes are, what you would put in S, what you would put in D. But yeah, really enjoyed Book 1. It is Book 1, isn't it? It's not Season 1. My cat is currently just taking things off my desk and running with them. Yeah. So yeah, a very strong start. And, well, first act. And I can't wait to watch more, which I will be reacting to on my channel. So, thank you everyone, and farewell.